Hey guys and gals, welcome to this week's Preforeclosure Daily Grind.com. Chris the Drummer Bowles, Bob LaChance. Hopefully everyone had a great week. We got some great tips, 3 in particular today, but we always end up turning 3 into like 10. But anyway, the first one we're going to go over actually Chapter 7 bankruptcy. We have a deal we're working on with H&R Block Bank where the client just got out of Chapter 7 bankruptcy. So we just want to give you a couple tips if you're an agent or investor working with a client that's in Chapter 7. I'm just going to read it off. This is something we actually got back from our client after they filed Chapter 7. Quick bullets. Explanation of bankruptcy, discharge, and Chapter 7 case. Debts that are not discharged. These are not discharged. Some of the common types of debts which are not discharged in Chapter 7 bankruptcy cases are debts for most taxes, debts incurred to pay non-dischargeable taxes, debts that are domestic support obligations. Makes sense, right? Debts for most student loans. That's a big one. Debts for most fines, penalties, forfeitures, or criminal restitution obligations. Debts for personal injuries or death caused by the debtor's operation of a motor vehicle, vessel, or aircraft while intoxicated. Some debts which were not properly listed by the debtor. That's actually pretty good to know. A couple other ones, and then finally debts owed to certain pension, profit sharing, stock bonuses, other retirement plans, or to the thrift savings plan, blah, blah, blah. Some that are dischargeable are typically your loans that you're dealing with on a house. So that's long and short of the quick Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Right.
Just so you guys know, obviously, when you're talking to homeowners, if they ask you any questions, obviously you want to refer them to a bankruptcy attorney, but, you know, I'm just always good to know this kind of stuff anyway.
Yeah, so. And you talk to a lot of loss mitigators about this stuff anyway, so we typically have to educate them a little bit.
Right.
But anyway, let's get into, what's our next thing, H&R Block?
Right. Well, as Bob mentioned, this bankruptcy case was on a property, a short sale that we were, working on with H&R Block. So obviously we had to get this discharged before we could start the short sale. H&R Block. Once the nice thing is once we got going with them, if you guys haven't dealt with them before, they're pretty quick. We basically got through the review of this file within a few weeks. Had an approval letter on it, and so. That was a nice thing.
That's H&R Block Bank. Also, in this particular short sale acceptance letter, they only allowed realtor commissions max 5% and 0 seller concessions on this deal. They would not allow. So that's a tip when you're dealing with H&R Block.
Right.
Bank, that is. Also, one thing that we forgot to touch upon, Chris. If someone's in Chapter 7 bankruptcy protection, you will not be able to speak to the bank until they actually get out of bankruptcy.
Right. Well, that's yeah.
Did you touch upon that? Or
I did.
You touched upon it. Chris already touched upon it. I already had a gigantic latte today, so I'm like a spider on you know what, you know?
Right. So the nice thing was the short sale, obviously, as I said, went pretty quick and straightforward with them. Right now, we're just waiting to close. We're supposed to close this thing up today. Just working through some issues with the buyer's side. For example, one thing to always educate, because we've had several deals, such as this, is that if the buyer is getting a loan with the same company that is also the short sale company.
So you're discounting Bank of America, and Bank of America is actually originating the loan. Short sale Bank of America, origination Bank of America, they don't talk to each other.
No. So unfortunately, that's a common misconception. So make sure to educate the buyer's agents when you talk to them, and/or obviously the lender. Just make sure to that they understand that
attorneys and title companies also, because they believe that they are one and the same, but they're not,
and they think that they can take however much time they need or want because they're the same company. It won't be an issue. So
talk about the water heater too.
Another thing here as well. This deal is a fun one because I was speaking to the attorney, and he basically, I get the final HUD over for approval, and I see a credit on there to replace a water heater. And I had to explain to him probably not going to be approved, as banks typically don't pay for repairs. Hence why it's an as-is transaction.
If it wasn't set up in the beginning. What happened with this deal is I guess somebody stole the water heater out of the house.
Like 3 days ago.
And somebody else, I don't know who did it, whether it's the agent, the buyer's agent, or the attorney, gave them authorization to have a plumber go in and replace it without having the bank authorize a $900 credit, which is an absolute big no-no. So, with that said, I don't know who the hell is going to pay for this $900 heater if it doesn't work out, but somebody is, and it ain't going to be me, and it ain't going to be Chris.
No.
Is that it? Those are some good tips. We also have our open Q&A tonight too, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Wednesday night. We have our open Q&A and business answers to any business challenges you may have. Go to proptracker.com. Chris, what else we got? Is that it? There's like 10 tips in
another thing with B of A. We'll throw this one in there.
Bank of America, that is.
Right. Found out also, coming back to kind of their loan origination side of their business, what they're now telling agents is that they will no longer talk, they'll only talk to the buyer's agents with regards to, status of the loan, where they're at, and this and that. They will no longer talk to the seller's agent. As far as, so the seller's agent, the listing agent on a property, can no longer contact directly the mortgage broker or whoever's doing the buyer's loan.
Which is kind of a pain in the butt, especially on investor resales or just regular retail deals, because you can't call to actually pre-qualify a buyer that you may think may be so-so.
And make sure to put the heat on them and let them know what exactly is going down with when they need to close by and so on and so forth.
So our job, that's another tip, that's a good one. Right. So our job is we have to educate the buyer's agent to be able to articulate what we want them to ask the loan originator for the buyer. Mm-hmm. So it's our job up front to make sure we do a hell of a job. If we don't, we're screwed.
Won't close.
Won't close. But anyway, that's this week's Pre-Foreclosure Daily Grind Tip of the Week. Chris the Drummer Bowles, Bob LaChance getting back to you again. See you guys next week.